Good morning, everybody. It's April Henry back with another live Facebook video with writing tips. Today I'm going to be talking about voice. Um, let's see, today's lipstick is again by Glossier. I hate this color and I'm going to discard it as soon as possible. And my shirt is another Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu rash guard with a swimming turtle on it. It's by Mirkatsu. So I'm going to be making videos about writing as long as I have um, topics to talk about. And then afterwards, I post them on aprilhenry.com and my YouTube channel, which is also called April Henry. Um, I also have writing prompts on my website. And right now, if you write something in response to one of my writing prompts and send it to me through my contact page, then I'll be posting it on my website. So, so I am in an interesting point right now to be talking about voice because I just started a new book and I'm trying to find my way into it and I'm trying to decide what the voice should sound like. I started out with it in third person, which is kind of related to voice, and I'm going to be moving to first person today to see if I like it better. So voice can be conveyed by a lot of things, like whether the narrator speaks directly to the character speaks directly to the reader, or whether the whole story is told more like a documentary, dispassionate and at arm's length, like a camera. Um, whether the voice can have like punchy, direct sentences or complex sentences full of um, clauses, run-on monologues, word choice, grammar, analogies. Does the narrator use a lot of references to rock music, or do they swear a lot, or say things like "he don't care"? Is the tone humorous or sassy or eloquent? And what's the content like? Is it like small talk? Is it off the wall? Is it very direct? So, one person that I was reading a couple of years ago, that I read a ton of their books, and I was really excited when he followed me back on Twitter, is an author who goes by a number of names, but one of them is Michael Marshall. So here's some examples of his stuff that I think has a strong voice. He was comfortably overweight with soft-looking skin and pale, wispy hair that looked as if it was rapidly deserting his head to leave him looking even more like a large, confident baby. And I just love comfortably overweight and large, confident baby. Another one is finally she went to ask the neighbors if they had noticed a little girl. On one side was an ancient couple who had been there since the Jurassic period, but whom the O'Donnells barely knew. Neither looked as if they'd be guaranteed to notice a tactical missile strike on their house. But see how much personality that has in it? And then here's a great example of voice where a character named Karen Reed has interrupted a bad guy, found him in the women's restroom along the interstate. And it ends with her walking into the bathroom and him seeing her. And then much later on, from his point of view, a chapter ends 5 miles up the road. He opened the window and threw out the first of Karen Reed's teeth. Never says what happened to Karen Reed, why she no longer has her teeth, but I'll tell you that leaving that there is actually more scary than if he had spelled it out to us. So here's another example of voice. It's the same topic, but told by different people. Here's one person. I fail to understand why Carly, who is ordinarily a hygienic person, would frequent the city pool in the summer. She refuses to use public toilets because they're gross, but she'll willingly dive into a body of water that is essentially the same thing. And then here's another example of the same topic told by a different person. The city pool is nasty. I have no idea why Carly likes it so much. At school, when she sees a blob of ketchup on the lunch table, she's all, ew, gross. But in summer, she splashes around in a gigantic toilet like it's super fun. So see how those two different examples of voice give you a completely different feeling about the same topic. One way to find the voice is just to pump up the volume, over exaggerate it, let your character have a really strong opinion magnify it, let them rant or sneer or avoid it or laugh at it or feel deeply. Anything that you could do to make them feel really strongly. Um, think about what are the outward things in the world that your character would notice. If they're a painter, they're going to notice different things about the world. If they're a thief, they're going to pay attention to different things. And so, how do you play around and find the voice? One way is to take a page that you've already written and strip out all the opinions, delete all the color, have as little as possible happen, and then go back and rewrite it and make it sound very upper crust, or rewrite it again like Joe the plumber, full of slang, and the person is easily offended, or rewrite it like a politician who's going to have a lot of platitudes and evasion. Um, rewrite it like a foreign tourist. Just try different things. So, like an old timer full of wisdom, or a teen keeping a journal. And then start again and rewrite your passage and see if any of that has helped you bring more liveliness to your book. If you want to be funny, take something your character does and exaggerate it and use a lot of hyperbole. Um, uh, Try finding places in your manuscript to let your character really riff on something that seems important to them. So, how do you choose a voice? How do you find a voice? I think every story, uh, I like to play around with writing it in first and third, especially if I only have one character, then that book could easily be told by first or third. A lot of editors like first person for books for teens because it gives you a feeling of immediacy. So find a way that you can find the way that feels the most easiest to you. As you're working on a passage, I currently have 3 chapters that are both in first person and in third person, and I'm trying to see how I can, which voice feels the most authentic to me. I mean, if you're writing in third person, it does give you the chance to head hop and have, well, I shouldn't use that term, but to move in from one chapter to the next and change who your point of view character is. If you're in first person, it's more confusing if you switch chapters and have a different person speak. So, uh, one thing to do might be to interview your character in first person and write down what they say, and then interview their friend um, about what they would say about that person, and those answers would be in third person. It might give you some ideas about how to approach the story. So for me right now, I'm leaning strongly to first person for the next book, uh, and I'm trying to find a way to make her voice be distinctive. Read somebody like Lisa Yee. If you read Millicent Min, Girl Genius, that book has this extremely strong first person voice. And so if you're going to use first person, try and make it distinctive. That's probably not my strong suit. My strong suit is more plotting, but I'm trying to have a stronger, better voice for this. So that's all for today. Tomorrow, Wednesday at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll be talking about first person. I'll be talking more about what I've been discovering working on my own book. And then again, if you want to use prompts on my website, aprilhenry.com, and send them to me, I will be putting writing that's generated from those prompts on my website. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.